Also, one thing I heavily dislike is when people are like, well, how can we struggle to dodge Delta's light beams? Well, they're never actually stated to be light beams, just beams, or destruction beams. So we don't actually know how fast they are. I'd assume they're at
I
least
mean,
as
they're
fast
beams
as
of
Naruto.
light, bro.
If
I
not
don't know what
slower,
else. Like,
since
how
Delta
else do you
struggles
create
to
a
tag Naruto
beam?
with them.
I'm smoking up good. Yeah, I hit the is up. Now I'm taking off. I'm taking off. Yeah, I came from the bottom, I went to the top. Now I'm taking off. I'm taking off. I'm taking off. I'm taking off. I'm taking off.
Hey man, what's good YouTube? I'm back with another video. Thank you. It is Taj, man. It's Taj. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? With another reaction. We hit 2K, y'all boys. Next giveaway at 5K. You can still enter the giveaway. After this video, the next video I drop will be the giveaway. I will be announcing the winner then on the video after this one. So subscribe, put the notifications in, and enter so you can be in it. You feel me? But look, how strong is Naruto? This video like 3 years old. I don't know how the scaling works. You know what I'm saying? But it popped up on my feed and I thought it'd be interesting. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna really see how strong Naruto really is, because some people get him to universal, others getting him to fucking, I don't even know, solar system. I don't understand how. Planet? Possibly. Solar system? I don't know. Universal? I don't know. We'll just have to see though.
Yo guys, King Bullet back. Today's video is really controversial. The topic being, is Naruto universe level or beyond? Now, I'm not saying that Naruto is this level or not. Just at the very least, it's debatable, based on interpretation. Now, I'm not going to include every single statement and feat that is potentially universal. I would be here all day otherwise. Naruto has a lot of material. Naruto is a manga that spans over 700 chapters and additionally continues via the Boruto manga. It's a story about a boy who had a demon sealed within him. He dreamed of becoming the Hokage of his village.
We know this. We know this. We know all this.
We've all seen the Itachi comic Vine memes.
Let's
This
get
eyeballing caused bad stigma in the anime community. All this bad stigma create these Naruto haters, or people who really despise Naruto.
Alright. Let's get to the ingredients.
Before I really start, I think I need to establish what I mean by universe level, and what it means to be universe level in the versus debate. It means to create or destroy a universe the same size as our observable universe. Now, depending on the context, it's possible to scale even further. Being low multiversal or universal plus are pretty much the same thing, they're interchangeable. To be considered low multiversal or universal plus, you need to be capable of affecting, creating, or destroying a universe's time-space continuum. So all of it collectively, the whole construct, rather than just an observable universe. And you all know how it functions. The universe's time-space is considered 4D. You're destroying all of the space within it, which is 3D, and then you're destroying all of its time as well, which is an extra temporal dimension, making the construct 4D. As a versus standard, the actual construct needs to be at least universal in size for this to be the case. Otherwise, every single dimension...
Already confused. So time and space are in two different dimensions, but it all affects each other the same way. So you have to destroy the third dimension and the fourth dimension to be universal.
Within fiction would be like 4D. Another thing I want people to understand is, the author doesn't always care about linear power scaling. So a lot of the times, characters jump from really low levels to really high levels. It might not even make sense sometimes, but as long as it fits into the narrative contextually, it should be fine. Hell, characters can even jump infinite amounts. So before we do anything, I think we should establish how big the Naruto universe is, because it might not even be observable universe size. We know cosmology-wise is similar to our own universe, because the planet Naruto resides on is called Earth, and the star it orbits is called the Sun. The Naruto dimension is even referred to as a universe several times. It has redshift nebulae, and even the solar system that Earth resides in is the same as ours, considering that even Saturn exists, according to Naruto the Lost Novel. Most interestingly, there's certain things within the Narutoverse which have actually been stated to have been around for an infinite amount of time. Now, if this is the case, and Naruto's universe had redshift nebulae, meaning it's expanding infinitely, it being around for that long means it's probably of infinite size. I'm not saying it is, just that is a possibility. Now, is there anybody in Naruto who's capable of affecting, creating, or destroying a universe? If you're using Hunter Ninja, which is arguably canon, it talks about the
arguably canon. I don't give a fuck. Canon this shit.
All of the Biju is capable of creating a limited Tsukuyomi, which essentially creates like this parallel world as an actual mirror dimension. So Obito uses that as an analogy, the reflection on the water surface. And even on the water surface, you see many stars in the reflection. The term uses Sekai, but usually Sekai either means universe, society, or world. It does tend to mean world most of the time. However, within Naruto, trust me when I say this, it's very interchangeable. We've actually heard characters refer to the universe as Sekai.
That's right. The universe is limitless.
And in this exact case, to prove 100% they're referring to the entire dimension rather than just a planet, is because an actual time-space has been created. It's a dimension. And this dimension actually has stars within it, if you look carefully. Meaning that they actually belong to the same time-space. Otherwise, how would a starlight travel from one dimension to another dimension? It doesn't really make sense, you see. So now we know it can't just be a world. And you even have shows like Bleach, that when they use the term Sekai, they actually mean universe. Of course, in this case, it might just mean world. When it comes to translations, there's obviously a lot of leeway. But in Naruto's case, they're referring to a dimension rather than like a solid planet. As you'll learn in a little bit. Now within fiction, if somebody says I've been sent to a parallel world, that tends to just mean they've been sent to a parallel universe, right? So it's the same kind of thing whatever way you look at it. It really doesn't matter. I mean, you can even search it up yourself. If you search a parallel world, it'll just give you a definition of a parallel universe. Because they're generally considered the same thing.
It has to be the same thing.
It's not just a genjutsu, it's actually real, it's physical. Since Obito, it's actually able to travel in and out of it physically. And to kind of justify that the Jubi of the Ten Toes is this level, we know that it's potentially the progenitor of everything in existence. So it's not even inconsistent. I think it's stated on 2 occasions, right? And I know what some of you are going to say. You can't use the title parts or the hypertext, or even the data books at all.
You can't.
Based off there being a few hyperboles, the data books are canon material written by the author for the manga. If there was a contradiction or hyperbole within the manga, would you say we can't use the manga for the exact same reason? No, you wouldn't. It's all case by case. So we look at each of the titles separately and decide if it's a hyperbole based on if it's an exaggeration or not. So what are these 2 statements I'm talking about in the data book? One states that the Jubi is like a fragment of a god tree, which we know is true because the Jubi...
I know one of them. What the? Who the freak?
is literally the seedling of the god tree. It further goes on to say that it's a source of a tenshi, and we know that tenshi literally means from top to bottom. It's a very old term to use, but most of the time is used to refer to the universe. And in the second example, it goes on to say that it is a source of Shinra Bansho, meaning all things in the universe, or all things in creation. Now, is it possible that the god tree created the universe? Well, it's not impossible, because technically Utsutsuki go around taking Jubi with them as kind of like these weapons. So this entire Naruto universe might actually belong to Kaguya. Hence Kaguya kind of gets upset when they're kind of hurting the earth. She's like, oh, this is my precious nursery. And it would also explain why Momoshiki, when he kind of visits Earth, talks about how this dimension potentially belongs to Kaguya. But these 2 arguments that are presented aren't even the stronger ones, really. We know Hagoromo, the Sage of Six Paths, has access to the Yin-Yang release, the creation of all things jutsu. As stated by him on a Uchiha stone tablet, he has a power to bring about all matter in the universe. Yes, this is actually a Viz translation. We know this is all validated within the databook once again, when it states that somebody with a Six Paths power is given a divine state gifted from an ancestor of all ninja, who uses the principles of all of existence to control the universe. Once again using the term Shinra Bansho, which in this case is more obvious that they're referring to the universe. This
Oh wow, that's why they named Shinra. Wow, that's great. Bansho, man, that's pretty cool.
To the knowledge one has about the universe, and control they have over causality. And do you remember when we were establishing the requirements of being universal, right? It's also affecting something on a universal scale. So bear that in mind, because we know with the Yin-Yang release, you're able to bring about all matter in the universe. Note that Naruto does actually have perfect control over Yin-Yang, but this is a little bit controversial. Regardless, we know Hagoromo is at least that strong. So Hagoromo wrote all of this on a stone tablet. Could he be lying? I heavily doubt it, since everything else written on there is true. Even telling you how to revive Kaguya. Obviously Zetsu edited that in, however these instructions were still not lies, so the entire tablet was completely truthful. For example, if a tablet said the sky was blue, that wouldn't inherently mean it's a lie. And bear with me, because this is kind of consistent, right? He does actually fight the Ten Tails, or the Jubi, so it makes sense that he would be relative to that. We also know Hagoromo goes on to fight Kaguya, his mother, who he claims is more powerful than him. He did actually learn the Yin-Yang after the defeat of Kaguya, however he still always feared Kaguya. So it makes sense that Kaguya is relative to him, or at least in the same order of magnitude. Kaguya is capable of threading, weaving, creating dimensions. I know you have a certain person in the community.
I play with those in Storm, you feel me? And I'll be spamming fucking that dimension shit. I ain't gonna lie.
This isn't like an actual creation feat for some reason, even though it literally is. The person who thinks this assumes it's like recycling. But that doesn't even matter, even if it was somehow, even though it's really never mentioned to be. Doing all of this is still a physical feat. You can't really create or destroy energy anyways. you can only ever convert energy into another source of energy. So literally most characters in fiction do that. They don't create something from nothingness. But ironically, with the creation of all things, that might be possible. So whatever way you look at it, you literally have to produce that much energy, in one way or another. So it states that she actually uses her dojutsu to do this, and she only unlocks her dojutsu from eating the divine fruit. In Kaguya's backstory, it's kind of shown once she's unlocked the third eye, she literally opens a portal to another dimension, meaning that quickly she's made it. And remember, creation is also like a valid fee if you want to be a certain tier, like we established at the beginning. Regardless, it's producing energy, so Kaguya needs to be able to take the counterforce of that, meaning your durability relates.
My
If
bad,
her
y'all.
durability can be harmed, the people harming her are like that level. Now what are Kaguya's dimensions? They're actually stated to be alternate time spaces or alternate dimensions. If you actually search up a definition of either, you will actually get parallel universe, because that's what alternate dimension / time space tends to mean. They're like synonyms of each other, and we already know what parallel dimension or universe means within Naruto, like I provided earlier with the Naruto Ninja movie. And also remember when Obito said that the dimensions were vast, he's describing the dimensions themselves and he's calling them vast, and he's struggling to kind of travel between that vast dimension Kaguya made and the normal universe. He's never really struggled with traveling between the normal universe and his own Kamui dimension, meaning the problem itself is the size of Kaguya's dimension, so it could possibly be a universe. Remember, he wasn't really having a problem with like traveling between the normal universe
I'm not even okay. I'm not hearing no facts. Like this none of this is screaming Naruto Universal yet, so
and his parallel universe in Naruto Ninja 2. And Kaguya actually creates 6 of his dimensions, by the way, and is capable of linking them all together, holding them via the Genesis dimension. If you really want to be a smartass, you know how the limited Tsukuyomi alone is like a prototype for the infinite Tsukuyomi, right? Imagine one of them is like a parallel dimension. So does that mean there's like billions of projections, since like almost every single person on the planet has been affected by it? We know that the limited Tsukuyomi is physical, but it seems the infinite Tsukuyomi is probably like a genjutsu, but we're not too sure. If it was, it could possibly be a multiversal feat. You can pretend you didn't hear me say that, but at the very least, we know it's stated in every single language to be a parallel dimension within the Boruto anime when they're talking about Kaguya's dimensions. And obviously parallel means like equidistant, meaning in every direction they're like the same, as in parallel to Naruto's universe. Even if you don't like that, Naruto Ninja kind of proves their mirror reflection dimensions. And the final nail in the coffin. When Ishiki says he's taken Naruto and Sasuke to a different dimension, Ishiki'd removed Naruto's village, kind of implying they are parallel universes. And come on, every time you search up like parallel dimensions, it show you like a multiverse of dimensions that are like similar sizes. It'd be weird for one of them to be really tiny compared to the others. It's not like a macrocosm or something.
I guess that makes sense. But I thought pocket dimensions was pocket dimensions. Like it's just, it doesn't have to be a universe inside. It can just be a world. The stars and shit can look. Could it fake stars? You think they would fake star? Probably not.
Wait, the next thing to talk about is the expanding truth-seeking orb. Now this is quite controversial too. The that book states that it encloses the power of all creation or existence, a chaos-invoking jet black orb. Now the term used by all of creation or all of existence is once again Shinra Bancho, which does usually refer to universe as we established earlier on. Even if you think it doesn't, that's fine. We know it's actually stated within the manga that the expanding truth-seeking orb actually expands and covers the entire time-space, resetting it. And we know that the dimension is referred to as a parallel dimension. You might have seen this other translation going around saying it rather seals the power of all the chakra types. However, chakra is never mentioned at all. Neither is this part about creation and destruction of a world. So what the person's done here has been really smart and added in parts that aren't mentioned at all, but do actually relate to the expanding truth-seeking orb. However, the person is actually being disingenuous since those terms aren't actually mentioned. However, it mentions that deshae is used, so after looking into it, the term might actually be related to Buddhism evolution, which means it's the law of creation and destruction, not necessarily of a world, it's generally just creation and destruction, even saying that it can turn the sekai to nothingness. So let's assume it just means world in this case, right? Just because it can turn the world into nothingness doesn't mean that's like a limit to what it can do, since we know it covers the whole time space regardless. And plus sekai can actually mean other things, including universe, which I'm not even gonna use because there's other material anyways. It's actually referred to something else later on, but I don't want to ruin it. So let's start off with Naruto Gaiden. A lot of people assume Naruto got weaker from Shippuden to Boruto. I've kind of already debunked this with my how strong is base Naruto video. People assume he's got weaker for getting harmed by Shin. However, he was really caught off guard by him. And it's actually stated by the likes of Sarada that Shin was like a dimensional level below even base Momoshiki. So clearly Naruto isn't really trying her. And it is stated by Kurama that his battle sense is dulled, so if that's not power based, that's more like skill based. So he's rusty when it comes to skills. And assume like power wise, would be way stronger because he's actually constantly training. A lot of people don't know this, but he actually creates shadow clones who train on the battlegrounds and gain experience for Naruto while he's working as the Hokage. And Naruto does still
He's so
actually have his 6
ridiculous.
path powers. I think it's actually directly stated he has access to all of the 6 path powers, and he's literally shown capable of flying and doing Rasen Shuriken that are 6 paths based. So I'm gonna assume you've seen my How Strong is Base Naruto video. We all know that he's stronger than Kaguya at this point, and probably base Momoshiki, just through like basic scaling. Since in his base form, he's consistently stronger than the new era Kage, who are obviously capable of fighting Otsutsuki like Kinshiki and base Momoshiki, who even Kaguya feared. As for interesting feats for Naruto in his new era, Planet Earth's chakra caused spatial curvature, which sent cracks throughout the Naruto universe. Momoshiki was actually able to pick up on this, being able to sense all of his chakra, and through the actual cracks was actually able to access Naruto's universe. What should be noted is, once Momoshiki has arrived, the statement is made that Naruto has a maximal chakra of the planet. Maximal means the largest possible sum, so I'd assume that Naruto is at least most of it. Naruto was most of a feat that was cracking time-space within the Naruto universe. This is probably like spatial manipulation anyways. Note, this is probably a casual Naruto's chakra, because we never really see him go all out until Momoshiki arrives. If it was like way stronger than Momoshiki's, he wouldn't have gone. Momoshiki only went because he knew he could actually take this amount of chakra. And we know base Naruto is relative to him, so it kind of shows us how much Naruto is holding back. And we know this is kind of consistent because it's literally directly stated Naruto has the most potent chakra in comparison to anybody.
It's
Naruto actually went out of
Uzumaki.
his way to say he's actually beyond Urashiki alone. And then as Naruto as a vessel, he's even stronger. So strong Urashiki was like, fuck this, I ain't gonna fight Naruto, I'm going back in time to fight like a younger version of him. Even though at the time Urashiki was like considered the strongest Otsutsuki clan member. Now moving on to more interesting scaling. A slightly stronger scaling I think. Base Momoshiki. How strong is base Momoshiki? Well, we know he's also capable of making dimensions as well. Or creating them. But his dimensions are surprisingly referred to as isekai within the Boruto movie novelization. What does isekai mean? A lot of people think it means different world, but I've never really seen a translation for it meaning different world. If you go into any like major Japanese to English dictionary, you'll see that isekai means parallel universe in a science fiction context, which Boruto is by the ways, because it literally has future tech, aliens, space, and time travel ironically. Isekai's other definition is alternate dimension world, which it can't be because these dimensions have stars.
I'm not even gonna cap, bro. The technology upgraded way too quick. They went from just being ninjas and shit to high-tech arm replacing mechanical, like, bro, that shit is crazy. Like, them niggas basically should be having flying cars if they wasn't ninjas.
Mean they're inherently bigger than just planet dimensions. Just to 100% validate everything I'm saying, we know within this dimension there was a rising sun, and the light of his rising sun actually hit Boruto. And just to clarify one more time, this sun and these stars belong to the same dimension. You can't see anything beyond your own dimension. So the only conceivable definition is literally parallel universe, unfortunately. That's why you'll literally see every translator, when translating this novel, say it's like a parallel dimension. Within the same novel, it's actually stated that Kage is also capable of making isekai, meaning she's also capable of making parallel universes. And I kid you not, in the anime, it's literally stated that she's capable of making parallel dimensions. I think it states ikai, which means like otherworld or some shit like that, or underworld. But if the official translators think it actually translates to parallel dimension, I think that should be noted, because that seems to be the context. And all I want people to understand is you shouldn't always take the literal translation. You need to look at the context, the lore, and the connotations of certain words within the...
No, we need the literal translation. Not from this. Let's go to Japan. Let's ask a Japanese nigga and you tell me what the fuck this word says. And then I'm gonna go based off of that. Sound like this man's rounding everything up.
That's how linguistics functions.
To be honest.
Unless you're this certain Naruto here who thinks it means like alternate planet or something. Every language literally translates it to parallel dimension. But apparently this one Naruto hater is a better translator than literal natives and official translators. Every single other translator are actual power scalers who have been scaling Naruto for a while. Using the same scan, Naruto hypothesizes that this space is either a kekai or a kukan. Now both of these things are kind of controversial. They can mean multiple different things. Now I don't want to sit here trying to explain what these things could be, because there's so many interpretations to these two things that there's no point. I can't prove to you which one it means. However, with kekai, I might be able to justify that. Regardless, none of it really matters because Naruto is not even sure what it is, hence he gives us two options. So ignoring that, we know the narrator calls it an isekai, and that is what is referred to throughout the entire novel. In fact, even outside of a novel. Our next piece of evidence is this. Now this material is from official summaries provided by the Uzumaki reports, so this is like an extended summary. And these are used as a basis for overseas summaries. Episode 64 summary says rescue Naruto. A battle in an isekai. Will Boruto vindicate his honor? I think this definitely confirms that Momoshiki's space is a dimension, because you can't really fight in a planet, because that doesn't grammatically make any sense. And we've already proved that isekai means parallel universe, so this is really good supporting evidence. So how does Naruto power scale to a Momoshiki who can create parallel universes?
Come on.
Dimensions is actually classified as a jutsu or technique, as it is for Kaguya. Fused Momoshiki himself creates a Rasengan. He actually amps Kamahamaru's Rasengan that he absorbed earlier and turns it into his greatest technique, meaning his most powerful one. And like we established earlier, that creation takes energy, so this new Rasengan is actually beyond it. And then we all know what happens next. Naruto fuels Boruto's Rasengan and creates the father-son Rasengan, which is actually stayed to match Momoshiki's Rasengan, seeming as if the clash between them would last forever, meaning they are relative to each other. If anything, this father-son Rasengan consumes Momoshiki's and kills him. Even more interestingly, in the Boruto movie novelization, the narrator even states that Naruto and Sasuke have become literal embodiments of this Uchiha stone tablet legend, like yin and yang that brings about all things in the universe. And that also narratively points towards Naruto and Sasuke being universal. Note, this isn't actually a simile or metaphor. They're saying that their power became this. An embodiment is like a physical representation of this idea. Everything stated on a stone tablet is true, and even if it wasn't, the novel is trying to tell us that they did still become embodiments of this idea regardless. The legend is mentioned multiple times throughout the manga. Here's a few scans. As per usual, this is Viz, the official English licensor of Naruto manga. Now moving on to speed, how fast would this Naruto be? Well, we know he's scaled to Momoshiki. Within the Boruto movie novelization, in an attempt to power up against Naruto and Sasuke, he fuses and transforms. He absorbs chakra from beyond his dimension, and now that we've established his dimension is at least...
Consider that New Year's resolutions are not...
Why do I put myself in these situations? Why do I put myself in these situations, bro? Brain is getting fried right now. What is he yapping about?
We know he's covering a distance that is most likely universal, because his transformation doesn't last that long at all. So even if you lowball and say it takes like 10 seconds, this feat would be ridiculously fast, easily within the quadrillions of times faster than the speed of light range. Now, do Naruto characters scale to their own chakra speed and chakra in general? And I would say yes. In fact, Team 7 has even reacted to Kaguya's chakra. We know Kaguya can easily react to Team 7 members, meaning Kaguya even scales to her own chakra. Now that we know Naruto characters scale to their own chakra speed, we know Momoshiki is with certain speed. Naruto and Sasuke are capable of fighting this person, meaning that they are relative in speed to Momoshiki. Within another novel situated after this, in the Naruto Resuden series, we know Naruto without chakra is actually capable of dodging light beams. So even without chakra, he's still pretty fast. So just to note, he's unable to access his chakra because of a certain disease he has. Hagoromo, the Sage's 6 Paths, also has a feat. Physically speaking, Naruto should be the same level as Hagoromo and Kaguya, and it's within these series of novels where he hides a certain object that contains polar particles in another constellation. So I think I've done calculations for this in the past, but I massively lowballed. I assume they were hidden somewhere near the closest star. It's stated that he hid it among 12 constellations, so the best thing to do here would be to find an average, and then a time frame. How long did it take him to do this? Well, we know around this time he was dying and he had an illness and he was coming to the end of his life, so he probably didn't have that long. Even if we lowball and say it took him a day, since he still needs to eat and drink, this feat would be ridiculously fast. I will link down a calculation to this in the description, but essentially what I'm trying to do here is prove that these characters do have really fast feats. And of course this does actually scale to speed, because technically this would count as attack speed. A Naruto character's attack speed and combat speed relate usually. Also, side note, cool feat for Naruto within the Resuden novels is that when he tries to get the polar particles in space, he can't breathe in space until he goes Kurama mode, meaning Naruto in Kurama mode can actually breathe in space. Meaning if anyone BFRs him or teleports him like into space, he's absolutely fine, even if they blow up the planet. During the Korra arc, Naruto goes on to fight Delta. Now him fighting Delta isn't really an anti-feat, because we know he was hindered by the fact that Himari was there, so he couldn't actually use his Kurama avatar or anything like that. Delta being as strong as Naruto isn't even that big of a deal, because from my understanding it's actually stated that these Korra members have Otsutsuki level power, and to further kind of validate this, the top 4 inner members are actually stated, verbatim, they have a combat power on the same level as Naruto, or at least in the same tier. Also, one thing I heavily dislike is when people are like, well, how come he struggle to dodge Delta's light beams? Well, they're never actually stated to be light beams, just beams, or destruction beams. So we don't actually know how fast they are. I'd assume they're at
I
least
mean,
as
they're
fast as
beams of
Naruto.
light,
If
bro.
not
I don't know
slower,
what
really,
else. Like,
since
how
Zelda
else do you
struggles to
create a
tag Naruto
beam?
with them, yet she can actually swap hands with him. And yes, Naruto is using 6 paths. He literally uses like a lava style Rasen Shuriken, which can only be done when he's in 6 paths, since he only has access to Kekkei Genkai then. The next major fight we see Naruto participate in is against Jigen. Now Jigen is a very powerful opponent. Once he's activated his karma, in almost singular shots he's taking down Naruto and Sasuke, literally kicking Sasuke out of his Susanoo and torturing Naruto. And by the way, he took them to a dimension where Konoha didn't exist, so it kind of validates his whole parallel theory, as I was saying at the beginning. We later learn that Jigen is only a vessel for the Otsutsuki Ishiki, who's meant to be far stronger than even Jigen, since Jigen was a defect of a vessel. When Naruto enters Baryon mode, he's actually capable of sensing these objects, despite them actually nullifying the ability to sense. Also, Ishiki loses his advantage over him, so before Ishiki was kicking Naruto and Sasuke around really easily, but now Naruto's entered Baryon mode, the roles have reversed. Naruto seems to have the advantage against him, and seems to be absolutely outclassing him. Now I don't really want to go into hypotheticals of how strong Baryon mode Naruto is. I want this video to keep its structure, and for the evidence to be quite strong, so I'll leave that there. Now in conclusion, how strong is Naruto? Well, he should at least be low multiversal, possibly even stronger. So basically he scales to characters who can create universes, which are like 4D time spaces as I established at the beginning. I'm not saying Naruto can necessarily do any of these things, so energy output wise he scales. Speed wise, I'd assume he's quite fast. He's many times faster than the speed of light, massively faster than the speed of light, possibly even faster. This video wasn't really about power scaling, it was mainly about the feats. If you want to know more about the hacks, there's other videos of Naruto you can watch. For example, how strong is
How is this video not power scaling? You just scaled this nigga's power level. What? I'm done. Hey, like, comment, subscribe, man. Hey, video after this, you feel me? Giveaways happening, so please be free. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to enter now. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go.
I'm smoking okay. Yeah, I hit the is up. Now I'm taking off. I'm taking off. Yeah, I came from the bottom, I went to the top.